Alright, and our renders indicated to us that he's ready to go. So without further ado, we've got SuperSonic with Streets of Rage 2 and 8% Easy. Take it away.
Hi, what's up guys? I'm SuperSonic, and you may have seen me in the Mario 3 race with Grand Pooh Bear earlier in the marathon, except now I don't have the Fire Mario suit on, so this is the true self right here. We're going to be doing Streets of Rage 2, which is a classic beat 'em up on the Sega Genesis. I'll be using Blaze as my character of choice because she's a very all-around character, and her special is pretty powerful as well. Normally people will be running as Max, but I like Blaze a lot better, so anyways, I'll be ready to go. Alright, so go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to grab a safety 1-up just in case. I will be abusing the special attack a lot in this run, just to deal like a lot more damage. And it does consume a little bit of energy every time I use a special move. Sometimes I will use like grab attacks, mostly like shoving them into the ground, like, you know, aggressively. And what I would like to do is to group as many enemies together as possible, so that way when I hit my special move, it should destroy like multiple enemies at a time. Sometimes they like to like creep around from the side and from behind as well. So trying to get them in the right spot is kind of tricky at times. Also, health management is not really much of an issue, because like once you die, it only takes about 2 seconds to like come back. But there will be instances that I will be grabbing health regeneration. Like the apple will just regenerate like 1/3 of your health, and then the turkey will fill up the rest of it. It's like full health basically. So I'm just gonna go ahead to the end of this part here. So pretty much the story of this game is that we are trying to save our comrade who was kidnapped by Mr. X, who is the syndicate leader. So we're pretty much playing as vigilante cops and just, you know, fighting in the streets of... Okay, that guy can be pretty tricky sometimes. It's fighting in the streets of danger pretty much. So as you can see, like if I were to hit an enemy with the special move, like right on close range, the damage output is pretty high. Like I would say it deals about 1/3 damage. The throws are pretty powerful as well, but I try to use them as efficient as possible. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep going until the end of the screen. Just kind of lure these guys over to me. Okay, she's not going to be active until I kill some of these guys, so let's go ahead and destroy them all. So there's like various special attacks that I will use in the run. So if I do like this double tap forward B, like she does this little flip and just like kind of does a karate chop. Then there's like the Hadouken type of move. That consumes just a little bit of energy. If I use it constantly, and then if I just get to like the very last pixel of health, I will not be able to use my special move. So this is our first boss of the run, Barbon. He's the bar head guy. Sometimes he can block as well. Okay, when you get thrown and if you hit like up and jump at the right frame, you will not take fall damage. Alright, so that's stage 1.
Mind if I throw in a bit of a donation rating here?
Go for it.
We have $130 from Narwhal Prime.
Wow.
Who says, promise fulfilled for my run. Also would like to give a shout out to Lieutenant Hummus, whose video inspired me to pick up Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes in the first place. Thanks everyone and enjoy the marathon. Donation goes to host choice. For me, I would like to put that towards Symphony of the Night with Handcam.
so I'm just gonna keep on going. Gonna try to group as many enemies as possible. I'll let these motorcycle guys go by. And of course they run into explosions. And yet they survive because, you know, Sega logic. Sometimes I'll be taking these enemies to Suplex City. Deal more damage that way. Gotta watch out for the exploding radius too. Sometimes I'll do like the double tap forward move to like gain a little ground. Okay, this guy. Normally if they try to grab me like that, I'll just like hit the A button, which is the special move, shield with that flip kick. That'll like get me out of there in a quick jam. Get the turkey at the end so I can have full health coming in here. And now we're inside the truck. It's moving, although it doesn't seem like we're moving. Alright, back at full health again. Okay, there's another safety 1-up in the top corner of the screen over here on the left. There are like 3 hidden 1-ups in the game. They're all located like in the first 3 stages. So as you can pretty much see, it's just a typical beat 'em up. We're just like going up fighting enemies. Alright, we're about to head into the boss fight right here. Okay, I'm gonna keep that turkey out for now. So this is our next boss. His name is Jet. It's actually a way to manipulate this guy. If you're like in his line of sight and he does that charging punch, you can just do a jump kick and just push him back. And just like that, he's down. Sometimes he'll have other attacks too, like he'll do this charging kick where he just like goes up into the sky and then just like, charges straight down. And he can grab as well, but with the manipulation, I wouldn't allow him to grab me. There is actually no way to run in this game, so I will pretty much be walking the entire time, but I'll try to be killing enemies as fast as possible. Get the health at the very end to get full health. Alright, and of course this game is actually called Bare Knuckle in Japanese, so that's why they have those arcades saying Bare Knuckle on them. It's like they were trying to promote their own game. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and group some of these enemies together. And if you throw enemies against other enemies, they will get hit. The enemy that is getting hit by the other enemy doesn't get damaged too much. It's only about like 1 pixel of health. Sometimes you can damage enemies off screen if they're in your line of sight. Like a blind line of sight, pretty much. Gonna do a jump kick on these 2 guys. Alright, where'd he go? That guy can be a bit of an issue. Jump kicks me in the face. Alright. And he does his little Hadouken move. A one-handed Hadouken. Just go ahead and take him out. Normally I would like to destroy the enemies to the right side of the screen, so that way, you know, when it basically takes me to the next portion of the stage, it wouldn't take as much time to get across. Grab this 1-up just in case. We're pretty much good on 1-ups at the moment, but it doesn't hurt to get some. So that way when I abuse the special moves a little more, like after a death I could just get my full health back. Alright, heading to the next portion of the stage. I always thought as a kid that was Disneyland in the background, but I don't know if they had any affiliation with Disney. So you will see like a lot of repeats of enemies like throughout this entire game, but they try to have like different names for the enemies, like Beano. It's like classic 90s, like punks. Okay, so now we're heading into the final portion of this stage. We are in a very eerie place here. And if we hit those capsules, they actually explode. Some of them range in explosions. Oops, had that guy slide into me. Yeah, now we just reached our maximum amount of lives. You can actually go past 9 lives, but it doesn't, the life counter won't go up. I think you can have up to maybe 99 lives in the game, but it's not possible to get 99 lives. So now we hear something very creepy coming up. So we'll get to this guy. I almost got stuck there. So there's like a floating, well, moving head that's attached. I don't even know how to pronounce that name, but he's pretty annoying sometimes. All he does is just like charge at you. I'm gonna go ahead and take him out really quick. And I just grab the final one up that's hidden. Alright, so we got a ninja dude with a sword. There are actually weapons you can use in this game. The sword is the most powerful weapon, but I tend not to use the weapons because they're actually pretty slow. And we meet the Blanca knockoff of the game. His name is Zamza, and I just let him take me out even though the turkey's sitting right there. He can be pretty annoying to fight. Like I'm gonna try to lure him to do his spinning attack, so I can do like a jump kick on him, but he doesn't want to cooperate with me. Come over here. He loves to jump around too, like a monkey, even though he doesn't look like a monkey. Ah, come on, dude. There we go. I'm just gonna grab this. There we go. Alright, so we took him out. Alright, so we're heading into stage 4, which is probably like my favorite stage in the game. So we see like there's a carnival in the background. And this game was released in 1992, so it looks pretty good for a 16-bit game. Just gonna go ahead and attack a bunch of enemies in a row. This stage is pretty much a perfect example of abusing the special moves like in the next portion. Sometimes enemies will want to spawn like right as they, like, you know, pretty much in my position. Alright, so I'm gonna let this guy appear. Let's kill these guys. Oh boy. Go ahead and throw him down. There we go. Now we're heading inside the baseball stadium. Okay. Guy with the slide. That's pretty much what I mean. Like, enemies will just kind of crowd around you. So, like, if you're trying to do a special move, like, they'll just get in the way. Alright, so we got a guy with a pipe here. Took him out. Just gonna keep doing a jump kick here, because I usually like to stay in the bottom right corner in this section. So that way I can like attack enemies as well as break things. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut him up. Got another dominatrix with the whip. She's already taken out. Okay, go ahead. Oops. Go ahead and lure them out here. Okay, now we're gonna fight one of those big dudes. And you probably may not see a woman German suplex a fat guy. And this guy can be pretty troublesome as well, because he can actually breathe fire. we took care of him pretty easily there. Alright, so now we're heading into a secret area of the baseball stadium. It's going to be punks jumping from above ground. Can only imagine how are they landing on their feet when we're in like such a deep area.
I'm getting like a weird like vibe, like the Naked Gun, because like there was some plot point with the pitcher's mound being weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. Alright, so since I cannot use my special move, I have to resort to using my forward B. And also use my throws as effectively as possible. Because I generally want to take an intentional death at the boss fight. Where's it coming from? Ah! Well, that's fine.
Do you have time for a donation, or?
Go for it.
Okay, we got $5 from Vanilla Bear 35, saying, looking forward to watching Supersonic delete these obsolete mules in Streets of Rage 2, including that dastardly Mr. X. It shall be wonderful! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Donation goes to Runner's Choice because I don't want to get these hands.
Oh my goodness, thanks Vanilla Bear. What are the incentives that we have right now?
So, I think they're working on getting the hand cam, because there was a host choice for that. So there's Symphony of the Night with hand cam. That's 490 out of 700 before the 130 from Narwhal Primes gets applied to that. There's Symphony of the Night Richter run being all bosses instead of any percent. That's currently $70 out of 1,500. There's the Triple King Dance in Shovel Knight, $105 out of 800. There's 2 bid wars currently going right now. One is the Plague Knight armor color in Shovel Knight, and whether to help or ignore Mustache Girl in A Hat in Time. There's the Equipped Sunglasses incentive, which is $104 out of $300 for that game as well.
We'll go with the hand cam for Symphony of the Night.
Alrighty.
Alright, I actually did have a little bit of trouble fighting against Ultimate Warrior there. But still managed to get through him. Alright, so we're inside a ship now. They try to make the screen move up and down to make it look like we're on a ship. And that it's moving. This is where the difficulty level kind of picks up a bit. Especially with the boss fight coming up. Like, I honestly think it's one of the hardest boss fights in this game. We'll see him very shortly. Okay, so now we should get to the end portion of this screen here. There we go. There we go. Heading into the next floor. I'm going to meet some kickboxers here. And all the kickboxers in this game are named after different birds. So this guy's named Raven. I don't think it has any connection with the wrestler Raven because he's a kickboxer. And Raven is a pretty crazy wrestler up in ECW back in the day. Alright, so we are going to see some recycled boss fights here. They just have like different color sprites, but they fight just the same. Try to take him down here. So I pretty much got him in a chain grab where as he's getting up, I use the frames to basically get behind him and grab him so I can do a continuous grab. Alright, so we got another jet guy here. His name is Mock. And he's already dead. Nice knowing you, buddy. Alright, so these guys are kind of separated, so I'm going to toss this guy over to him. Okay, grab this apple here. Let's see, try to group them together. That guy was moving really fast. And usually when there's like different colored sprites of enemies, they also vary in speed as well when they move around. So like they pretty much have the luxury of moving freely while we don't. We just have like a set pattern to like move, or set direction rather. Look at these ninjas. Okay. I'm gonna bring them over this way. Oh my god. Pretty much got a continuous hit on me, but okay, let's get this guy. Alright, so we're approaching the boss fight here. Gonna go ahead and group some enemies together. You kind of see that the attack or the damage dealt pretty much varies, like depending on when the enemies get hit with my move. You can either like stun them or get them at the last frame. So this is our bear. He's like one of the most annoying boss fights in this game, as you can see. It's like no matter what you try to do to him, he's like...
That anti-air was so good.
There we go, we got him. Alright. So heading into the next stage, we are heading into the beach. So exiting the ship here. And we're gonna be acquainted with a ninja already, who's dancing around us. I mean, I gotta say though, like the music is really good in this game. It's kind of like giving you that 90s club style vibe.
Yeah, that bass line going into that boss fight was so good.
Alright, this ninja has an arrowhead, so I gotta watch him. There we go, got him. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and avoid them, just kinda progress the screen a little bit. Ah! I was basically a frame late on using my special move there, so he got a free hit on. So now we got Condor and Pheasant, two more birds. Alright, so we got an extra life back. Getting extra lives in the game, they're pretty much like very rare to find, like in the stages themselves. But usually if you get like a pretty high score, like you'll just get an extra life instantly. Okay, this one we're just going to be dealing with hordes of enemies all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and lure them all here. Ah. There we go. There we go. Cool, got him. Alright, so I'm pretty much in danger of dying here, which should be fine. I try to deal as much damage as possible by grabbing and throwing them. Can't use my special move at the moment, since my health is way too low. Ah, shoot. And there's a flamethrower that he does with his mouth. He's been eating a lot of junk food and has heartburn. Alright, so I'm going to let these biker guys go, because they're going to be jumping out of their bikes when they're off screen. And they all have like 1 pixel of health, as you can see. So I'm just going to let them come at me. Ooh. Yeah, that dominatrix girl, she has the ability to produce electricity with her whip. Alright, heading into the next boss fight. There's 2 more recycled bosses here, but the one we're going to focus on is the Blanca knockoff again. And there is going to be a jet guy here too, but we're going to ignore him because it's much faster to kill the Blanca guy. I mean, you could pretty much choose to kill the jetpack dude as well, but it doesn't really do anything. It just gets rid of a nuisance. As you can see, that he can be quite a nuisance here. grab this health here. German suplex for German suplex. There we go. And when you kill the Blanca dude, the other guy dies as well instantly. Alright, so heading into stage 7. We're going to deal with conveyor belts. You can see in the background that there's a bunch of machine parts. It's pretty much telling us something here. That they're building an army of robots to combat us. Okay, let me get this guy right here. Get him in a chain grab. Missed it just a little bit, but that's fine. Managed to take him out. Ended up getting a different guy off screen. So you can pretty much see like the different ranges of the special move. Like if I keep on shooting, like if it's on contact, it'll deal a ton of damage, and if it's like on late contact, it'll just deal like maybe a couple pixels of damage. Didn't mean to pick up that pipe. Okay, so there's an extra life coming up here. Grab that for safety. Ah, he already woke up the other guy. Okay, so we got one more guy to fight here in this section. I'm gonna bring him over to the right, so that way when I'm done with him, I'll just be off screen instantly. Alright, this section, I'm gonna try to keep those canisters not damaged as much as possible, because they do have a turkey in there that I will need towards the end of this section. Because we're going to be fighting a bunch of hordes of enemies while we're going up. Okay, so I'm going to lure this jetpack dude over this way. There we go. Caught him in the air. Go ahead and take care of this guy. I want to lure this guy down this way. Alright, so now we're going to deal with more of those kickboxers, as well as the biker gang. Oh no. Let them kill me. The turkey will actually stay on screen until we get to the boss fight, so I can just leave it there too. But I kind of wanted to break it open around this section here. Alright, so we're gonna deal with this guy. The stars next to like the bigger enemies' names, they signify like how much health they have. So they have like 1 star, they have like 1 full bar along with another. So it's kind of like their extra lives. Okay, now this boss fight, it's pretty much RNG. So like they have a small % chance to explode instantly, like self-destructing. But it doesn't happen quite often. So like a lot of time can be lost here. And there's 2 of them, they love to hop around as well.
I didn't know knives worked against robots.
I know, right? Who would have thought? Okay. None of them are not explode. They will explode once they're dead, but I haven't gotten one of them to self-destruct. Oh my gosh. And yeah, he has like those ball and chains. Well, that's a nice way to end the screen. Getting hit. Alright, so we're in the final stage. We're in the Syndicate headquarters. You can kind of hear the music is a little somber and serious. We're going to see a lot of recycled bosses in this stage. And of course we got Bear Jr., who's the son of our bear from the ship. And they look exactly alike, so you kind of wonder, it's like, when did our bear even have this kid? And they look exactly the same. Oh. It's very difficult to get a grab on this guy, so. Come on. Always try to get that headbutt. Alright, so we're getting close to the end here. It's going to be fighting a bunch of enemies going up on this elevator. Let's see if I can try to catch this guy. Oop, he got me. But I'm like a cat landing on my... Oh, except for that, but... I just didn't hit up and jump at the right frame. You can pretty much like get him in a chain grab, like in the corner, but it's right as he's getting up. Like if I'm just slightly late, he'll get a grab in return. Oops.
Someone in chat mentioning that was more like the previous fight was more like the Bald Bull title defense.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so we're dealing with another Blanca knockoff. Blanca / Wolverine, I suppose.
It's Nail from Dragon Ball Z.
Except he doesn't even look like a Namekian.
True.
Alright, so I'll let him destroy me here, that's fine. I still have 5 lives left, it's more than enough to get through the rest of the game. It's just, fighting him is pretty annoying at times. There we go. I want him to do that again. There we go. And you can kind of see that my health is regenerating gradually after each screen, because there are like no more health pickups in the rest of the game. So the game is being nice by giving you health back. So now we have Ultimate Warrior round 2. I'm gonna go ahead and use my special on him, destroy him easily. And there's Mr. X, just sitting there nonchalantly, watching the action, hoping for my death, but we're not going to let that happen. Now he's going to throw in one of his cronies, Shiva. It's a pretty difficult mini-boss here. Okay. He can be pretty dangerous, so like, whatever I try to do, if I try to grab him, he'll just grab me. Almost got him. Ah, he blocked. There we go. All right. So now we got Mr. X coming up. He's going to have a machine gun on him. And it deals a ton of damage when he attacks you directly. He will also shoot as well. He'll even kill his own henchman. So we're gonna try not to kill the henchman all that much. We're just gonna focus on fighting Mr. X. But a lot of the times the enemies do get in the way because they keep on respawning. Get out of the way. Like a crazed maniac here, and time will happen when stage 8 clear appears. Time. Alright, well, that's Streets of Rage 2.
33 minutes and 35 seconds.
That's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, yeah, that was pretty much Streets of Rage 2, and as the credits are playing, we're going to see like various scenes of getting our comrade back here. So as you can see, he's like chained up. So it's like pretty much a happy ending after defeating the boss of the Syndicate. And this is actually a pretty fun beat 'em up. It's pretty much like in line with the other great beat 'em ups that we have, like in the older days, like Double Dragon, the Super Nintendo counterpart Final Fight, Battletoads. There's like so many different beat 'em ups that are out there, and they're pretty fun to speedrun as well. So if you guys want to learn more about Streets of Rage 2, feel free to pick it up. I'm more than happy to help out in any way. And once we get to the end screen, we'll see how many enemies we killed. There are actually 3 parts of Streets of Rage. This is considered more the best version, or the best best part of all 3. Number 3 wasn't really praised that great, but there's actually speedruns of that as well. Alright, then looks like Skate's pointing up to the sky. We'll see exactly what it is in just a moment. And there's a helicopter finding them, and they're gonna take them back home. And we get to the end screen here. Let's see how many enemies we killed. So we defeated 317 punks that all look the same, so I think that's pretty good. Alright, that's it for Streets of Rage 2.
Thanks again, Supersonic. Looks like we have a doppelganger who also goes by the name SuperSonic71087.